Window. Like this one?
The codominance one, right?
Yeah, the codominance. And oh my god. Can you even see anything?
Yeah,
What do you see?
I see the Google Doc.
Do you? Oh, that's weird. I don't like it's like not showing me. Okay. I am presenting. Okay, whatever. So this one, did you get a chance to complete this?
No, but I was reading it like I was like reading everything and I saw the video.
Okay, cool. Do you want to go through it together then? Just so we can have it. I wonder if I can draw on this. I don't know if I can. Can I annotate? Probably not. I can just type in it, that's fine. Let me just make a copy of it. How are you doing this morning?
Good, tired.
Yeah, I'm tired. Oh, it does. Now it shows me. Okay. Yeah, are you sleeping? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. It keeps letting me know that I'm presenting to everyone. Okay. So we went over this in the video, but I can just type in it. So what does it mean when if something is showing complete dominance, what does the heterozygous genotype, like what would the phenotype look like? What color? For number one here.
Is it red? Right?
Yeah, very good. Yep, it would be red. And why is that?
Because when it was crossed over, the more dominant one was redder.
Good.
Like it's like brown eyes and blue eyes. Like brown eyes are more dominant than the blue ones.
Yeah, very good. And that's actually, yeah, that's something we can talk about too, which is really interesting. So if you think about it, two blue-eyed people cannot produce a brown-eyed baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. And it's red because it's showing complete dominance, right? Meaning, what does complete dominance mean?
The meaning of complete dominance?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when like one gene takes over the other.
Yeah, very good. So the dominant allele is going to be completely expressed. Okay, very good. And then what does it mean to be if we have an incomplete dominant flower and then it's got a heterozygous genotype, what would the phenotype be?
Wouldn't it be like 50-50, right?
I'm sorry?
Wouldn't it be like 50-50?
Yeah. So what color would it be if it's got red, mixture of red and white?
Pink.
Pink. Good. Both the dominant and recessive alleles are expressed completely, resulting in a blend. Very good. What about codominant?
If a red and white were crossed, it would still be red, right?
Red?
Right? It would be red.
Now look up here to see. So we got, this tells us what codominance is.
Other genotypes allow both of us to completely express at the same time. Oh, so it would be both, right?
Yeah. So it would be red. So you're half right. So it would be red with like white stripes or whatever, or polka dots. So instead of blending the colors on top of each other, it would have some red here and then some white there.
Mm.
Okay, good. Okay. Now we can move on to this part. So a snapdragon is a type of flower. I have a picture in the PowerPoint if you're curious to what those look like. You said you already watched the video though, yeah? So they are incompletely dominant. So what does that mean? Does that mean they're blending together or that they're going to be stripes or spots?
They're gonna be like completely like one color.
Okay, good. So they're blending together, right? So and it tells us right here, so they have phenotypes red, pink, or white. The red flowers are the homozygous dominant, so that's going to be the RR, the large R, large R. The white flowers are homozygous recessive, and then the pink flowers are going to be our heterozygous. Okay, so what's the genotype for these red flowers then?
RR, right?
Yep. What kind of RR? We got
They're
big
capital.
and then little. So our capital and our lowercase.
So they're both capital, right?
Very good. What about for pink?
They're gonna be lowercase r, right?
For pink?
Yeah.
So if pink is our heterozygous, what does that mean?
So they're gonna have their own letter, right? P.
Yep, so it's going to be heterozygous, meaning we're going to have one lowercase r, so one recessive allele and then one dominant allele represented by the uppercase. And then what about for the white snapdragon, our homozygous recessive gene?
They're gonna be lowercase r, right?
Yep, very good. So 2 lowercase r's. Very good. Okay, now it's asking us to show a genetic cross between the following snapdragons parents using the Punnett squares provided and recording the genotype and phenotypic percentages below. Okay, so we have 2 pink, so we can edit this. Oh my goodness, this is actually gonna get me. Okay, so we have 2 pink ones. So let's do this. So what are our pink ones going to be?
PIRR.
Okay, RR. And I'm sorry?
Uppercase and lowercase.
Very good. So uppercase and lowercase. Let me just make this one a lowercase. Very good. And for both of them, right? So okay. So what does that make? What are our crosses look like?
First question gonna be double R.
Double R. Okay, so yeah. So they're all gonna be the double R. So double uppercase R, right? Because we got big R here, big R here. I'm just gonna copy and paste. Okay, what about for this bottom? This bottom square?
It's gonna be uppercase R and lower R.
Very good. What about for this one up here, our top right one?
It's gonna be the same one.
Okay, very good. Wow, I thought I copied the lowercase r too. Okay, there we go. And what about for this bottom right one?
Lowercase R.
Yep, 2 lowercase r. Very good. Gosh, this is harder to work than I was hoping. I thought I'd be able to just write. Okay, very good. What about for the red and white allele? So what is it?
On top, right?
I'm sorry?
The red is going on top.
Yeah, we can make, it doesn't matter which one we make on top, but yeah, we can do the red on top. So what would that genotype look like?
The 2 uppercase R's.
Okay, very good. Oh my goodness, that is way over there. Okay. What about for white?
Lowercase r.
Lowercase r, very good. Okay, let's make this one. So what do our crosses look like then?
They're all gonna result in uppercase r and lowercase r.
Very good. Hi, Michael.
Hey, miss.
So they're all going to be uppercase and lowercase r. Very good. Michael, we're just going over the worksheet that you guys were working on for this week. And for, well, you guys, the pages that you guys worked on yesterday.
All right.
And this is being recorded just so we're going to present it on, so people who aren't able to be here today can see it just so you're aware. Hopefully that's okay. Okay. What is our final cross going to look like then?
Pink and white. So lowercase r.
Lowercase r?
Pink
Or pink or white?
Oh, pink is uppercase r and lowercase r.
Okay, very good. What about white?
The lowercase r's.
2 lowercase r's, very good. Mike, do you remember what the lowercase letters represent?
They're not dominant. The dominant ones are the capitals, whatever.
Very good. So do you remember the word for something that's not dominant?
No, I don't remember. I'm tired.
That's fair. You sound tight. Jose, can do you remember what the not dominant letters represent or what they are called?
Recessive, right?
Very good. Recessive. Okay, and then we'll just do this last cross. So we got our RR. RR. This is so much work to do. There we go. Okay, 10,000 years later. That's finally done. Okay, very good. So what does this mean? What are our genotypic ratios here for the pink cross?
50%.
50% what?
Pink.
Okay, so 50% are going to be pink. So we'll say 2/4, 50% are pink. Then what? How many are red and how many are white?
25% are gonna be red and 25 are gonna be white.
Very good. Okay, I'm just gonna make this a little smaller so everything fits a little better. Okay, what about for our red white cross?
4 out of 4 are gonna be pink.
Very good. So 100% pink. Okay. There are pink. And then for this pink white cross,
50% pink and 50% white.
very good. Now I wonder if I can make this smaller, I guess. And not make it bolder. Let's make it 9. Here we go. Okay, 9.5 works. Okay. Oh, we did the so this was the that was the phenotype, right? What is phenotype again?
The percent, right? The percentage, right?
Well, it can be represented as a percentage, but what does phenotype mean?
Phenotype. It is The set of observable characteristics of an individual resulting. It's genotype.
Okay. So phenotype represents visually what we see, right? And genotype is what our genes actually express, or what our genes actually look like. So the genotype would be the allele combination. So genotype is, okay, we see 1 out of 4 of these is homozygous dominant. So that's the genotype. The phenotype would be, okay, this one is going to be a red color. So what's outwardly represented versus what's inwardly shown. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would the genotype for these be then? The different ratios.
1 out of 4 red.
Hmm?
2 out of 4 pink and 1 out of 4 white.
Okay. So half are going to be. Remember, instead of saying pink and white because that's what's outwardly expressed, you need to say what the alleles are. So homozygous recessive, homozygous dominant, or like I'm doing just to save space, we're going to write out what the specific alleles say. Okay. And then this one, so we have all 4 are pink. So all 4, what are their, what's their genotype?
They're heterozygous, right?
Very good. Yep. So they're going to have 1 capital, 1 lowercase. And then this one, we have half pink. So that's heterozygous again. And then what about white?
Gonna be recessive, right?
Yeah, so it's homozygous recessive, so 2 lowercase r's. Very good. Okay, man, this is gonna take lots of crosses. Okay, so let's remove it. So in this next one, so we have some horses. So they are also incompletely dominant.
Mm-hmm.
So they represent different colors. So the genotypes are as follows. So our homozygous dominant results in brown horses, our homozygous recessive results in white horses, and then the heterozygous genotype results in this yellowish tan color. That's also called palomino. Okay, so we're going to show the genetic crosses between the following horses. So we have brown and white. Man, okay. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay. So we have brown. What is brown? What's our genotype for brown?
It's all you, Michael. Your turn.
Huh?
I'm sorry?
It's all you, Michael.
Oh, you, Michael.
Hold on,
Maybe.
repeat that again.
What is the genotype for a brown horse?
Let me pull it up. I wasn't actually paying attention.
Okay.
Isn't it gonna be B, right?
Yep. So is it uppercase or lowercase for brown?
Uppercase.
Very good. Are both of them uppercase or just one?
They're both gonna be uppercase.
Very good. There we go. What about for a white horse? Uppercase or lowercase?
Lowercase.
Very good. For both or just one?
I don't
For
know,
just
both
one.
or something. No, for just one.
For
For
just one?
Yeah.
Well, white is homozygous recessive, right? So when something's homozygous, they're going to have the same allele for each of their copies of it, right?
They're gonna be
Yeah.
lowercase.
Good. Okay, so what's our cross look like for this? What happens when you cross an uppercase B with a lowercase b?
It's gonna become uppercase and lowercase.
Very good. each of them get expressed, and then what about for the rest of them?
They're all gonna be the same.
Very good, because both parents are homozygous for both of their traits, whether it be recessive or dominant. They can only contribute one potential allele, so they're all going to be exactly the same. Very good. What about for a brown with a palomino horse?
They're all gonna be, for brown's gonna be uppercase B, and for palomino is gonna be uppercase B and lowercase b.
Very good. Exactly. So the palomino is uppercase and then lowercase like that. Very good. So what's the cross look like?
So first square is gonna become, no, the first two squares are gonna
Mhm.
become brown. They're gonna be
Okay.
brown.
Very good. So they're both going to be brown. Oh, hi, Gabby.
Hi.
We're just going over some of our packet right now. And this is being recorded just so you're aware. So what are these two bottom boxes going to look like, Jose or
It'll
Michael?
be palomino.
Palomino. Very good. So they're going to have that genotype. So heterozygous genotype. What about for these finals? So we're crossing two palomino horses together.
They're all gonna be uppercase B and lowercase b.
Okay, very good. So they're going to be heterozygous again. And then what does the cross look like?
And I'll be right back.
Okay. What do our crosses look like?
First one's gonna be uppercase B for
Mhm.
both.
Okay,
Then
good.
the one next to it is gonna be palomino.
Palomino, so heterozygous. Okay, what about this one at the bottom?
Palomino.
No, very good. And this last one.
That one's gonna be white.
Very good. Okay, so now that we have that all taken care of, squared away, what are our genotypes look like? So remember, that's what our specific alleles are. So how many, if we have a brown and a white, what are the genotypes? Possibilities.
So it's gonna come out palomino. So it's gonna be. Isn't palomino like recessive?
Well, it's heterozygous, right? Because it's got one dominant allele and one recessive allele. Is Gabby still here? Yeah, she is. So what does that mean? So basically, we're just looking at what the genotype is. So how many of the genotype are this heterozygous genotype?
4 out of 4.
Yeah, 4 out of 4. So 100% of them, if you cross a brown horse with a white horse, are going to be the heterozygous genotype. What about for this when we pass a brown with a palomino horse?
So 2 are gonna be heterozygous. 2 out of 4, right?
Yep, 2 out of 4. I said 2 out of 4 are going to be what?
Heterozygous.
Heterozygous what? Dominant or recessive?
Not recessive. The other one.
Dominant, good. And then the other half are going to be
Those are gonna be recessive.
recessive?
Yeah.
Well, they're got one capital B and one lowercase b. What does that mean?
So it's gonna be Are they gonna be the same, right?
You're going to be the same?
Heterozygous dominant, right?
Heterozygous. Yep. And then what about this final one? Mike, are you back?
Yep.
Can you do this one for us then? See, so we're looking at what are our different potential genotypes. So we're looking at how many out of the 4 are homozygous recessive versus homozygous dominant versus heterozygous.
There's 2 heterozygous, 1 homozygous dominant, and then the other one, the lowercase b and lowercase b is heterozygous recessive.
Okay. Is heterozygous recessive?
Yeah, the ones with the lowercase z. I mean b. Geesh, I'm tired.
Well, it's not heterozygous, it's homozygous. Right? So homozygous, think of homo meaning the same.
Yeah.
And that means that we're going to have 2 of the same alleles versus hetero means the opposite or different. So that can help you guys remember it. It's big. Okay, very good. What about for our phenotypes? What are the different possibilities of the phenotypes or the different arrangement? So phenotype meaning what again? Anybody can answer that. What does phenotype mean?
It's on like how we see things, right?
Okay, good. So it's outwardly what we see. So what are the different phenotypes that we can see when we cross a brown horse with a white horse?
It's gonna be a depends.
You see what?
It depends.
Does it?
Not it depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
How does it depend?
I don't know. Like if they cross, then it's gonna be either a brown horse or a palomino. You said a palomino horse or a brown horse and a white horse.
Mm-hmm. So I'm still talking about A right here. So we're crossing a brown horse with a white horse.
It's gonna end up being a brown horse.
You said a brown horse or a palomino horse?
No, I'm lost. Sorry. I don't know.
Okay, no worries. I want to make sure you're understanding it. So do you have any thoughts, Jose?
No.
No thoughts? Well, you told us that 4 out of 4 of these offspring are going to be heterozygous, right? So what does that mean? If a brown horse is crossed with a white horse, what is the only type of baby that they can produce?
Palomino.
Right, exactly. Because a brown horse is homozygous dominant, so it can only contribute these 2 alleles, so the dominant alleles, right? So represented by the uppercase B's, whereas a white horse is homozygous recessive, meaning it can only contribute a recessive allele, which is represented by the lowercase b's. So when they cross with each other, the brown horse can only donate only one of the 2 alleles, and they're both the same, so it's only going to donate the dominant allele, whereas the white horse is only going to is only going to contribute this recessive allele, no matter what. So they're always going, when a brown horse and a white horse come together, they're always going to produce a heterozygous baby. Meaning, what color are they?
They're gonna be we're talking about B.
No, A right here.
Oh, so they're gonna be palomino.
Palomino. Very good. Palomino is how you spell that. Okay, so exactly, they're going to be 100% palomino. What about for when we cross a brown horse with a palomino horse?
It's gonna be 50-50.
50-50 what?
50 are gonna be hetero.
Okay, so 50% of them are going to be heterozygous. The other 50% is what?
Homozygous.
Homozygous, recessive or dominant?
Recessive, right?
Recessive? Well, what do uppercase letters? Yeah, very good. Dominant. So remember, uppercase letters represent dominant.
Mhm.
lowercase represent recessive. So if we have two uppercase B's, what color will our horse be?
It'd be hetero dominant, right? Heterozygous dominant or uppercase B's.
Well, if we got two uppercase B's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that homozygous or heterozygous when we have two of the same allele?
Homozygous.
Very good. So what are two homozygous dominant horses gonna be?
Brown and Palomino.
Brown, good. So brown for our homozygous dominant, and then the other half are heterozygous, like you said, Jose. So they're gonna be the Palomino, also like you said. Okay, I need to make this smaller. Let's do a 9. Okay, what about for our last cross? So when we cross a Palomino horse with another Palomino horse, and I spelled Palomino wrong right there. Michael, what do you think?
Not Michael left.
Michael left?
Yeah, to his other class.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I know 50% is gonna be Palomino.
Okay, very good. So half Palomino. I'm just going to put P for Palomino. Okay, what's the other half? Or what's the other two going to be?
1 out of 4 brown.
1 out of 4 brown. So I'm going to put P for brown. And then what's the last one?
1 out of 4 white.
1 out of 4 white. Very good. Put W for white. Exactly. Very good. But does that make sense, Jose? I know that was a lot.
Yeah.
Seems like you got it, though.
Like it made it more easier to like understand.
Okay, good. Yeah, and if you have any questions, please let me know. It sounds like you got it. I just want to make sure that we're understanding what the homozygous versus heterozygous, and then the genotype versus phenotype.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good.
So, Bez, I'm going to my other class.
Okay.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
You as well.
Thank you.
Bye, Jose.
Bye, miss.
Okay, let's continue on. Students or no students, we're going to continue on. So let's go with, can Palominos be considered a purebred line of horses? Why or why not? So we have to have an understanding of what purebred means. So purebred meaning that the horses are only mated with the same type of horses, basically. So because the Palomino horses are heterozygous, meaning that they do not they contain dominant and recessive alleles for hair color. They cannot be considered purebred as they have necessarily been a product of two different colored horses. I am having a really awful time spelling. So basically what this means is because they are necessarily produced by a dominant allele versus a recessive allele, they cannot be this purebred line of horses, because purebred implies that oof, my cat, my little kitty wants to be here. Purebred implies that the horses oh, and he just typed a lot of words. The purebred is implying that these horses are have the same alleles for each trait, which is not the case with the Palomino horse. Okay, which two colors of horses would you want to breed to produce the maximum number of palominos in the shortest amount of time? So we can look at which horses, so which cross up here. Basically, we did all the crosses potential that we could have done besides brown and white and white and palomino. And we know that brown and brown, since they both would only have this dominant allele, both their homozygous dominant allele, they would only produce brown horses. And same thing with white, just for the recessive allele, because they both have this recessive allele for both of their alleles, that they would only produce white horses when crossed with each other. And then we see with the brown versus palomino that they produce only 50% palomino. And that'd be the same thing with the white. They'd produce 50% palomino, 50% white. As we see here with the brown, they produce 50% palomino and then 50% brown. And then when we press cross two palominos together, they produce only 50% palomino and then one brown and one white horse. Whereas when we cross a brown and a white horse together, because they're both homozygous for their respective traits, whether it be dominant or recessive, they can only contribute that one type of allele, dominant or recessive, to the cross, so to their offspring. So the brown horse is always going to give the dominant allele, and the white horse will always give the recessive allele. So they will produce 100% palomino horses. So we would want to cross brown horses with white horses, as they are they are homozygous dominant and recessive, respectively. Meaning that they both can only give one type of allele, resulting in 100% palomino offspring. Okay, very good. So now we're going to move on to number 12. So in Smiley's, eye shape can be starred, which is large S, circle, which is C, large C, or a circle with the star. Write the genotypes for the picture, for the picture's phenotypes. So when we have a circle guy, we have two C's. When we have a starred guy, we have two S's. And then when we have a circle and a star, we would have both alleles being expressed, so we'd have SC. Okay, so show the cross between a starred-eyed and a circled-eyed. What would be our result? So with the star-eyed, we'd see we would see SS. For the circle eyes, we'd see C. So we have our starred eyes with the SS and the circle eyes with CC. And I'm just going to start writing this because, man. Okay, so with the star-eyed, when we do a cross, they'd all be S, C, S, C, S, C, S, C. Because the star-eyed can only contribute an S allele, and the circle-eyed can only contribute a C allele. So they would necessarily produce 100% star circle-eyed, circle with a star offspring. So 100% of their offspring, 4 out of 4, would be circle with a star. Whereas the other 4 out of were the genotype, so 4 out of 4 genotype would be SC. Okay, so now it's asking us to show a circle-eyed and a circle-eyed cross. So we're going to do that. So we have a circle-eyed, which is the genotype of SC cross SC. So it would be SS, SC, SC, CC is our cross. So then we're going to show what's the phenotypes of the offspring. So we'd have a quarter of them would be star-eyed. Half of them would be circle with star. And then the other quarter of them would be circle-eyed. And then ask what our genotypes, are. So our genotypes are going to be, a quarter of them are going to be, a quarter of them are SS, homozygous dominant for S, are going to be heterozygous, and then the other quarter of them are going to be homozygous for the C trait. Okay, and then finally, it's asking us to tell us what's a cross between two circle-eyed individuals would look like. So our circle-eyed individuals have the genotype of CC. For both of them, it would all be CC, so they both can only contribute a capital C as the genotype for the I trait. So they all would be homozygous for the C. So the phenotype, 4 out of 4. 4 out of 4 have circle. Right. Oh, between two circles, star-eyed. That's my bad. I thought it said circle-eyed with a circle-eyed. Okay. So it's CS. Let's just start all this over, shall we? The CS is going to throw me off from the SC that we've been already doing. So star circle-eyed individuals are going to have the SC, 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 CC. So this is not correct anymore. So 1/4 are going to be star-eyed. 1/2 are going to be circles with star. And then another quarter of them are going to be circle I. What are our possible genotypes? So a quarter of them are going to be SS, half of them are going to be SC, and then another quarter of them are going to be CC. So how many star-eyed do we got? So 2 out of 4 star-eyed. So we count them, 1, 2, 2 out of 4 star-eyed. Okay. Now we're finished with our incompletely dominant questions. I'll post this at the end of the week, but you guys have it here. Pause this video as needed. And then we're going to have the go on to our codominance problem. So codominance, remember, is when both the dominant, that is not what I meant to do. So you can go back up to the top of our page where it tells us what codominance is. So when heterozygous genotypes allow both alleles to be completely expressed at the same time, resulting in something like spots or stripes. So we're talking about blood type for human beings is codominant. And then it tells us that there are 2 dominant alleles, A and B. You guys have probably heard of A and B type blood. And then 1 recessive allele is type O. So if you have O-type blood and you have the recessive, homozygous recessive necessarily, because to be expressed, it needs to be homozygous. So looking at this chart, we can see what these questions are asking us. So it's telling us to write the genotype for each person based on the description. So if someone is homozygous for the B allele, we look at what the genotype for the B allele is. Homozygous means they have the same exact thing. So it's going to be this I superscript B. I superscript B. And to do the superscripts, you can either go to format and then text and then do superscript right here, or you can do the control button and then press the period button to do a superscript. So that's what I do. That's the most easy way for me to do it. So heterozygous for this individual, we look at what heterozygous for an A individual would be. So heterozygous meaning that they have 2 different types of alleles. So that would be this I superscript A with a lowercase I. So type O blood. So type O blood is II or OO. I'm just going to write it as II because that's how I learned it in school. So type A and a type A and had a type O parent. So this means someone had type A blood. So we know that it's one of these, but they had a type O parent. Then we look at what the possible genotype for type O parent is, and it's homozygous recessive for this small I, meaning that they must have got at least 1 small I allele from their parent. So we know that they are homozygous or heterozygous for type A blood. So that's what their genotype would look like. We have type AB blood, and type AB blood necessarily must be I superscript A, I superscript B. A blood that can be donated to anybody. So we look over here. So donate blood to. So we see that blood that can be donated to anybody is this type O blood that has the genotype II, lowercase I. And then finally, we have blood type that can only get blood from a type O donor. So what blood type can only receive blood from an O donor? And then that again is this type O blood, which is the lowercase I. Homozygous recessive. Okay, now moving on to question 2. So pretend that Jay-Z is a homozygous individual for the blood type B, and Beyonce is a type O. So what are our possible blood types for their baby? So we're looking at what homozygous for type B would be. So that's 2 uppercase I's with superscript B. And then if Beyonce is type O, she has to have this small I blood type. So we're going to do that real quick together. So we have Jay-Z being this uppercase I with a B blood. And then Beyonce is lowercase I for both because she's got the type O blood. So every single one of their children. So this is all hypothetical. I do not know what Jay-Z and Beyonce's blood types are. But every single one of their children would be heterozygous for type B blood. So Lou, Ivy, Rumi, and Sir, I think are their babies' names, would all be heterozygous for type B blood. 4 out of 4 potential possible blood types. Okay, so now it's asking us, be an abundant square showing all the possible blood types for the offspring produced by an O mother and a type AB father. So an O mother, like Beyonce before her, would have type recessive blood type, so 2 lowercase i's. An AB father would have 2 uppercase alleles, one with B superscript, one with the A superscript. So a cross between all of these would result in heterozygous individuals for each. So all of these individuals would be heterozygous. 50% would have type A blood and 50% would have type B blood. Okay, so number 4. So Mrs. Obama is type A and Mr. Obama is type O. They have 3 children named Malia, Sasha, and Bob. Malia is type O, Sasha is type A, and Bob is type AB. Based on this information, Mr. Obama must have the blood type. So Obama has blood type O, so he has the blood type II. And then Mrs. Obama must have the blood type superscript A I, because Malia has blood type O. Okay, so by performing the cross, or by just looking at this problem, we see that Malia has blood type O, Sasha has blood type A, Bob has blood type AB, and we know that Mrs. Obama has blood type A and Mr. Obama has blood type O. So necessarily Mr. Obama needs to have the recessive allele, because to have this O-type blood, it's recessive. So he needs to have 2 recessive genes in order for it to be expressed. Mrs. Obama must have the blood type I superscript A, lowercase I, because Malia has blood type O. So in order for Malia to have blood type O, she needs to get 1 lowercase I from Mr. Obama and 1 lowercase I from Mrs. Obama, meaning that Mrs. Obama must be heterozygous for A-type blood because her daughter has that blood type. And then Bob cannot be a child of these parents because neither parent has the allele. So Bob has blood type AB. Mrs. Obama can contribute an A. Mr. Obama can only contribute I, like lowercase I, meaning that neither of their parents have blood type B or a B allele to contribute because neither parent has the allele I superscript B. And then we can show this by crossing what our parents would look like. So Mr. Obama or Mrs. Obama has blood type I, A, lowercase I, and Mr. Obama has lowercase I. So I, A, A, I. Sorry, that's so messy, but hopefully you get the gist of it. So, yeah, so this should check out. So Malia has blood type O. She can get blood type O from one of these 2 potential alleles. Sasha has blood type A. She can get one of the A blood type from one of these 2 alleles. And then Bob has blood type AB. And that is not even a potential option here, as neither of the parents can contribute the B allele. Okay. 2 parents think their baby was switched at the hospital. It is 1968, so DNA fingerprinting does not exist yet, so don't even think about it. And then, so the mother has blood type O blood, and the father has type A bleed blood. So let's write out first the blood types of both of these parents. So mom has blood type O, so that's necessarily lowercase I. Dad has phenotype AB, so he necessarily has to have the blood type that has both A and B in it. So baby's genotype can only be, so mom can only contribute lowercase I, so there's necessarily going to be a lowercase I in both of these potential genotypes for baby. And dad can contribute I. IA or IB. So IA or IB. So let's do our Punnett square. So mom has O blood, so she has lowercase I, lowercase I. Dad has AB blood. Okay, so here's our Punnett square showing everything that should help conceptualize what this is happening. So was the baby switched? So, no, the baby was not necessarily switched because the blood type of the parents matches with the blood type of baby. Okay, so 2 other parents think that their baby was switched at the hospital. We're on number 6. Destiny, the mother, has blood type A. Michael, the father, has blood type B. And AJ, the baby, has blood type AB. So mother has blood type A, so she can only have 2 potential alleles. If we look back at our chart from before, you guys can flip back to this chart. So it tells us what the 2 potential alleles are. I just remembered. So if you need to look back, you can look back. So these are only 2 potential alleles. She can either be heterozygous or homozygous for that allele. So father has type B blood and same thing. So he can either be heterozygous for B blood or homozygous. Okay, and so the baby has type B blood, or no, the baby has type AB blood. The baby must have this blood type. So now let's show the potential cross. So if mom has type A blood, even let's do worst case scenario, they're both, so this is dad's. So they're both gonna be heterozygous for this trait. So the baby could actually be theirs because mom can donate one of her, even if she has the heterozygous, there's still a 25% chance that they have a baby that has AB blood, even if they're both heterozygous for this trait. So it is potential that the baby could still be theirs. There is a possibility. Okay, so based on the information in this table, which man could not be the father of the baby? So looking at this blood type, so mom necessarily has to be contributing something to the baby. So if baby has type B blood, she must be heterozygous for this because if she was homozygous, then the baby would be expressing the A blood type in some way. So baby's blood type is necessarily heterozygous for the B trait because he's getting a recessive allele from mom. So if we look at this, we see that baby must be getting type B blood from father. So that means mailman is out. Butcher has a B blood, so he can give the B blood to the baby. And then the waiter is out as well because he doesn't have a B allele to contribute to the baby who has type B blood. And then cable guy would be able to contribute the allele. So only the butcher and the cable guy could be the father of the baby. As they are the only men who Now moving on. So the sister of the mom above had issues with finding out who the father of her baby was. She had the state take a blood test of potential fathers based on the information in this table. Why was the baby taken away by the state after the test? So, looking at this table, we see that mom has type O blood. So she has II as her allele. So we can write that down. So mom has lowercase I necessarily because she has type O blood, which is recessive, meaning she's got to be homozygous for the 2 recessive alleles. And baby has type AB blood. So baby has this type of blood, AB blood. So baby doesn't have I blood, doesn't have this recessive. Hi, Miss Petrie.
Hi.
So baby doesn't have this recessive allele, meaning that this is not the mother of the baby because the baby has to, because the mother definitely would have to contribute this recessive allele to the baby, and the baby does not express that allele because he's heterozygous for AB blood, which means that he has this these 2 alleles right here. So that tells us why the baby was taken away by the State Department, because this mom was not the mom of the baby. There's no way that she could be because she did not have the correct blood type to go along with what her baby had. So mom could only contribute I alleles as she is homozygous recessive for blood type. Baby needed, so because baby is heterozygous for type B blood, this could not be the mother, as the baby does not have a recessive allele. The mother would have had to have contributed if that was her child. Now we're moving on, hopefully. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're moving on to the final home stretch of what we're doing. So if you have any questions about this, please let me know. And by emailing me, posting a comment on Google Classroom or on Google on the YouTube video. Okay, so finally, so in blood typing, the gene for type A and the gene for type B are codominant. The gene for type O is recessive. Using Punnett squares to determine the possible blood types of the offspring. So this doesn't really give us any new information. We can always flip back to this chart on page 4 if we need a refresher on what the blood types, phenotypes, and genotypes look like. So we're just basically doing Punnett squares. So if father is type O blood and mom is type O blood, they both have this recessive allele in order to have type O blood, because type O is a recessive allele. So let's just quickly do that. They both have type O. So these 2 parents can only have children that have type O blood because they necessarily are both going to only be able to donate type this recessive allele. So looking at, I'm gonna have to start writing better. So looking at percent O, so 100% of our babies will have type O blood. 0% are gonna have type A blood because mom and dad cannot contribute that dominant allele, and same thing with B blood, and same thing with type AB blood. Okay, moving on. So if dad has type A, homozygous, meaning he has the same alleles for both type A. And if we look back at our chart up here on page 4 of our packet, we see that type A blood homozygous looks like this. So we have the I with the superscript A for that type of blood. And then mom is type B and she's also homozygous. So we flip back to our page as needed. And that again is going to be the capital I superscript B for both blood types. So A. Oh my gosh, I apologize for my atrocious handwriting. So 100% of these children of these potential couple are going to have type AB blood because mom is going to necessarily donate this type B blood because she's homozygous, and same thing with dad. Dad is homozygous for type A blood, so he's necessarily going to donate the A allele. So we have 0% for all of these other types of blood besides AB blood because the baby is definitely going to have AB blood. Okay, we have a father now who is type A, heterozygous, meaning he has one of the capital I superscript A alleles and the lowercase I because he's heterozygous, and the mom is heterozygous for B blood. So she also is going to be have one capital I with the superscript B, and then a lowercase I. That is not what I meant to write. Write a lowercase I. So this cross is going to look like this. Okay. And please fact check me if these do not look right. Okay, so we look at our chart and we see that 25%, one of the 4 are going to have type O blood. 25% are going to have this A blood. 25% are going to have B blood. And looking back at our table. And then 25% are going to have this AB blood type. Okay, now we have mom has type AB, dad has type O. So we'll do that cross real quick. So dad has type O, so we're going to give him 2 recessive alleles. Mom has AB, so she gets 1 type A dominant, 1 type B dominant. This is atrocious handwriting, and I apologize. Okay. So there you have it. We're going to have no type O bloods because we don't have any homozygous recessive combinations there. We have 2 heterozygous A bloods, so that's 50% of our cross is going to be A blood, and the other 50% is going to be heterozygous for B blood, and then no AB blood today because we have no A alleles crossing with B alleles. Okay, and our final cross, final one for the day, thank goodness, is, I did not even read what it said. So it's mother and father are both type AB blood. So they're both having, they're heterozygous for those 2 dominant alleles. So our A allele and then our B allele. So let's do this, shall we? Okay, so A allele, B allele, because they're both got AB blood. So we see that our A's crossed together give us one homozygous A-type blood. Our A's crossed with the B twice. 2 potential chances of that happening. So we have 2 out of our 4 potential offspring are going to have this AB blood, and then our 2 homozygous, our 2 B's, potential B alleles crossed to give us 1/4 chance of having a baby with homozygous B blood. So again, we have 0 for the O blood because we don't even have a recessive allele at all here. And we need homozygous recessives in order to see B blood. So 0% are going to have B blood. 25%, so 1 of the 4 potential options are type A blood. 1 of the 4 are type B blood, so 25%. And then 2 out of the 4, so 50%, have a potential of having this type AB blood. And we are all done. So that's page 1 through 8, all completed. I know it took a long time, so I apologize that you guys probably took a long time on it. Make sure you guys are doing this, though, and turning it into me, so we're all done there. You can rewind the video as needed. Pause me as needed to go over that. My throat kind of hurts, so I'm going to stop sharing and, yeah, hang out and see if anybody shows up. Say hi to Miss Petrie. I see that she's here. Nobody else is here besides me, I think, and my screen share. Hi, Miss Petrie.
Hi, you stopped the recording?
Oh,
Did you
sorry,
guys-
my volume was all turned down. I couldn't hear you. Okay. Hi.
So did you stop the recording?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, you should.
Okay.